We've got an exclusive first interview here on the show with one of Gold Coast's new leading trainers.
Plus, we'll give you the inside word on 2 leading chances into the Hollindale next week.
Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to a big edition of In the Box Seat. Ella, we're not racing,
No.
but we've got a big special guest joining us.
We
joining us here on the Gold Coast.
We do indeed. Welcome, Declan.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
You've come acclimatised straight away, straight from the bull.
Yeah, I come straight from Warrnambool. Had to have my jumper and jacket on down there, but I soon got back up here and took them off. So it was yeah.
I know this is supposed to be coming into our winter, but you'll think this is summer for you.
No, definitely. Well, I've done 6-7 years at Ballarat in the cold. It's probably one of the colder places in Victoria, and it's time to get out.
Yeah, some mornings here it can be about 24 degrees at 3 a.m, so you're in for a real shock.
I don't know how I'm going to handle that.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself and the reasoning behind the move here to the Gold Coast as a solo trainer.
Yeah, well, obviously worked with Kieran basically since he started. Firstly down in Warrnambool, running his stable down there, then moved up to Caulfield and was there for sort of all his growth. Like we only had 6 boxes when we first went to into Caulfield. That was all we had to start with, and then as Kieran famously said on the first morning, his best horse did attend it. So, but we were already there then, so we sort of kept going with it. Since then, I moved down to Ballarat, took over Forest Lodge down there, and had up to 200 horses under me there. So at any one time, minimum sort of got to was about 150. So that probably in turn, my own trainer's license, I got that in 2017, but was sort of unable to really have a crack with my own horses because
there's big numbers
like that. You can't to put everything into it the right way. By the time I did all Kieran's horses, I sort of just didn't have the time. And of course, when Kieran would go to the sales and come up here to the Gold Coast for the Winter Carnival, like he used to always tell me that he enjoyed to do, I'd be stuck down there and working the boxes and looking after all the horses. So it was just a good opportunity. I felt with the growth up here in Queensland. Also, those owners that I've created a rapport with, working with them for a long time with Kieran, I could still have a relationship with them and hopefully training their horses that mightn't be quite up to the grade in New South Wales or Victoria. And there's opportunities then from possibly them to come up here and, can win a few more races for those owners that have invested buying them. So I've had a lot of work with Kieran over the few years, working with the 2-year-olds and horses like a Totsu is probably the pin-up boy that was trained out of Ballarat to win 3 Group 1s in a row. So looks like people would say that I've mainly dealt with stayers, but when you've got 200 horses there, I've sort of looked after all Kieran's yearlings until they sort of were up ready to have a jump out over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. So there's been a many diverse type of horse go through that stable, and I'm looking forward to it.
Glad you brought Hitotsu up because I reckon it was a horse that sort of brought data and how Kieran applies data to his training regime to life, because he did something like 8 weeks between runs or 12 weeks between runs and won a derby, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yep. Well, he was first up into the Australian Guineas. Yep. And then he went straight into the Derby. Yep. So he went from a mile up to 2,400. So which some horses,
6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah, whatever
runs,
it is. Yeah, something like that. And but he was just such a natural athlete, that horse. And like one of his final gallops, I think, leading into it before he come up. John Allen was riding him in on the bridle. He ran like a 10-7 or something like that against like horses like Persan was who he was galloping with. So he was a remarkable horse, just had a remarkable engine in him. And he was just exciting. Shame that what happened to him, that you couldn't probably see him. We always sort of had in mind that he could have probably won a Melbourne Cup. He just had that aerobic capacity, but then also had the turn of foot. He was a remarkable horse.
Your side of training things, are you the sort of the old school, or do you apply that data in your own terms as well?
I should say I love the data. It's just a tool that's available. So I think when
we speak of data, just explain.
Yeah. So like if you put the heart rate monitors on the horse, you have, so it measures their stride length, their heart rate, recovery, speed, all that sort of thing. So the more you use it on a horse, it's a bit like you think of like, I'm Victorian, so I'm going to say AFL. But probably should be saying rugby now, but
league.
Yeah,
league.
Sorry, league. Yeah. it's no different to what they do now. It's the more you use it, the more data you have. So we've got such a big base of it all now. So you put them, if you put it on the horse when they're, say, doing their early bit of pace work, and then you have it onto them once they're doing their harder pieces, well, then you just can compare it all, and then you can then compare it from preparation to preparation. So you can then, when you know a horse has won and this is where he's what his data was at, well, then if he's at that again next prep, you could go into it with a lot more confidence than just going that his weight's good and he looks well,
Yeah, wow.
So it's there's a lot in it. You can go deeper and deeper and deeper into it, the more you want. But it's just a very handy tool.
What do you, what's your long-term goal here at the coast?
Well, I'm pretty hungry.
Outside of training dinners.
Yeah. Well, obviously, first thing is to
get a bit of sunshine.
Get a bit of sunshine. Lifestyle for the family is one. Like, my son turned 2 on Tuesday, so before that was part of the move, was to get him into schools and kindergartens and all that, and not be wanting to do it in a few years' time. And I'm still young enough now, still throw the boots on and the helmet on and ride a few around myself and get a feel of the tracks and all that as well. And if we were going to do it later on, it just would have been more difficult. So just the timing seemed right. And with what Kieran's operation was doing, it was probably a good chance for me to step away from that, but then also still going to work in together, as I said earlier. So
there won't be any tussles in the mounting yard between the two operations?
No, it'll be more, it'll be good banter, I would say.
Who did win the fights?
No, we'll say they were pretty even.
Okay. You can be honest. You
had a bit more reach than me.
Kieran's obviously bringing a big team up for the Winter Carnival. He's had great success here. Obviously, Bella Nipotina last year took the stable on a remarkable journey last year to
Sox Nation.
Sox Nation was 100 to 1 when she won the Oaks.
120 to 1. I missed a bit of that. But anyway, she actually does a lot of her preparation work out of Ballarat, so I'd actually know her very well. But
is she on her way up?
Yeah, she's going. I think she's possibly running this weekend and then coming up. So
excellent.
Yeah.
AFL side?
Geelong, but I was watching it on Sunday. It was actually my birthday Sunday. I was watching it, and Geelong lost, but I was watching the lead-up game at the Gold Coast, and they were behind.
Oh, you're a good man.
And then they won, so I sort of said, well, I actually had a good day.
A second side.
I have to have a second side.
Yeah.
Got a few of my friends, actually, that are living up here at the minute. They've been following the Sun since they've been up here, so...
Honorary member, then?
I might have to get a membership.
They're good young side coming through.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Hardwick's done a great job with them. As I say, I'm still a bit AFL, but we'll transition to league.
No, as long as you're going for the Sun, you're fine. Good man. Thanks so much for joining us, Declan. We're looking forward to seeing how this unfolds for you over the next few years here at the Gold Coast.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me on, and I look forward to the challenge ahead.
Declan Maher joining us on In the Box Seat. Hollindale contenders time now on the show. This week we're looking at BOIS D'ARGENT, who is back to the winner's circle, winning the JRA Plate in Sydney over the weekend. Of course, he won the Doomben Cup. He'd been out of the winner's circle since last year, but he returned to form last time around, and he looks well on track for Annabelle Neesham and Rob Archibald. In fact, they're now Annabelle and Rob Archibald because they got married. And of course, Annabelle's had such a great record in the race. She's going for 5 straight. So BOIS D'ARGENT's going to be a leading contender. And we caught up with Grant Morgan to chat about the chances of the grey heading towards next week's Hollindale.
Yeah, Queensland was always the main aim this time in, Mitch. So it was good to see him back in the winner's circle. He ran so well first up in Melbourne behind Pride of Jenny. And the Doomben Cup was sort of always the aim this time in, but we certainly put the Hollindale on the radar with Annabelle early on this preparation. It's a race in our own backyard here, and so it's certainly one we'd love to run in if she thinks he's spot on for it. But the Doomben Cup and the Q22 are probably in his sweet spot. He's probably more of a 2,000 to 2,200 metre horse. 1,800 metre, maybe a fraction short of his best. But certainly it's a race that we'd love to win one day.
So we'll see the nominations come out and know whether BOIS D'ARGENT is running as the week progresses next week.
You say the name very well, Mitchie, even for someone with a lost voice.
Yes. Good chat. One name that you'll get right is Antino for Tony Gollan. We caught up with Tony this week for an update. He's particularly happy with how the gelding is travelling after the first up run in the All-Age Stakes.
Antino is absolutely super heading to the Hollindale Stakes. He's come through his run in the all age really well. Had one jump out leading into it due to wet weather up here, so he's improved sharply, really nicely. His work on the course prop here at Eagle Farm Tuesday was fantastic. We had a high volume of work into him, leading away to the all age, and that shows the benefit of that run now is pretty easy to see with him. The fact Blake Shin's booked to ride him in the Hollindale, he knows the horse really well. I couldn't be happier with him. He'll round out his work here at Eagle Farm next Tuesday, but the horse is in great shape, and I certainly am excited to get him out to the 1800 in the Hollindale Stakes.
We'll have all the latest news coming on our socials. So when the runners are announced, acceptances are out, you'll see everything there first on our socials for more contenders coming up. Speaking of Hollindale, obviously you have to get your tickets to be here on track to catch all that action and see it all live on the racetrack. So grab your tickets at gctc.com.au. You've got your GA for $15 per person. The early birds are still available, or grab your tickets into the 4X house for $199 per person. You get your food, your drink all day in the glass house right next to the mounting yard. There will be some 4X giveaways in the room. We'll have the 4X shuffleboard there. 4X will be giving away plenty of goodies, so you have to be there to win it and enjoy the day.
Second best view.
Second best view
at the track.
Are you going to say the race caller box is number one? Oh,
yes,
well,
it is.
Unfortunately, none of us are lucky to be up in the race caller's box, so you get second best at the glass house.
The glass house is very good.
Yes, the perch is where I want to be all race days, always. Unfortunately, we have to walk around and, do some work.
9 times out of 10, you are. That takes us away from a big show. We covered a lot this week for a
Phantom?
Roger.
Oh, Roger! I said that I would have some answers for you, and I didn't do that.
No.
Look at me not doing my homework.
No homework.
Oh, whoops. The dog ate my homework.
I think Jasmine's about to come in, so we better go. See you later. We'll catch you next week for a bumper show as we head into Hollindale.